Tom Rogan, who is a blogger and a columnist for the Daily Telegraph, wrote a piece for National Review congratulating Barack Obama for being right. His speech this week, where he talked about sending special forces and support personnel to Iraq, had to be a speech that might have been the most difficult of his presidency. This was a speech, according to Tom Rogan, he never wanted to give. His decision to re-engage in Iraq. But of course, we need to re-engage in Iraq. As Rogan writes, no other country can provide the intelligence, target acquisition, aviation, and command control capabilities that are so needed desperately to restrain ISIS's advance. Only America has the influence to bring Iraqi political factions back from the paranoid abyss of sectarian bloodletting. Absent Obama, there'd be no remedy but the hand of Iran. In short, America had to return to Iraq. Now, liberals have to be filled with fury. Here's a guy writing at National Review that Obama deserves credit for finally recognizing his responsibility. Until now, Obama has held himself up for responsibly ending America's military involvement in Iraq, but on Thursday, Obama implicitly admitted that his withdrawal was premature. And he's had to admit a deeper truth, according to Tom Rogan at National Review. America cannot shield its interests and values by sitting on the sidelines. This cuts at the heart of the Obama doctrine. This cuts at the heart of a lot of doctrines, including Rand Paul. Listen to Rand Paul on Meet the Press yesterday, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, who basically says this isn't Obama's fault.
Too many times to count, Mr. Obama has told us he is ending the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan as though wishing makes it so. Do you think Dick Cheney is a credible critic of this president?
I think the same questions could be asked of those who supported the Iraq war. You know, were they right in their predictions? Were there weapons of mass destruction there? That's what the war was sold on. Was democracy easily achievable? Was the war won in 2005 when many of these people said it was won? They didn't really, I think, understand the civil war that would break out. And what's going on now, I don't blame on President Obama. Has he really got the solution? Maybe there is no solution. But I do blame the Iraq war on the chaos that is in the Middle East. I also blame those who are for the Iraq war for emboldening Iran.
So Vice President Cheney is making the rounds right now, and he's giving a lot of interviews. We may even be able to get him on the Mike Gallagher Show. We've spoken to him before, and we're reaching out to Vice President Cheney to see if he'll be able to visit with us. But he has responded to what Senator Rand Paul is saying about Iraq.
If we spend our time debating what happened 11 or 12 years ago, we're going to miss the threat that is growing and that we do face. Rand Paul, with all due respect, is basically an isolationist. He doesn't believe we ought to be involved in that part of the world. I think it's absolutely essential. One of the things I worried about 12 years ago and that I worry about today is that there will be another 9/11 attack, and that the next time it'll be with weapons far deadlier than airline tickets and box cutters.
Now, that's a fear that I think a realistic fear that we all have to contend with. Vice President Cheney says Rand Paul is basically an isolationist. I really believe that's why a lot of young people are drawn to Rand Paul's message, because they kind of grasp the appealing message that is, let's worry about our own problems before we worry about anybody else's. We can't possibly begin to solve problems in the Middle East.